Hi there and welcome. So if you're new to the channel, my name is László Merca and this channel deals with home automation, home networking and stuff like that, and also some related technologies like 3D printing. In this video I will show you some updates to the tool called OctoFarm. If you don't know OctoFarm, I suggest you to watch a previous video in which I introduce it. In this video I will show you the updates later done to OctoFarm by its creator James McKay, and I will show you some testing methods I developed and new features. So if you're interested, stay with me. Okay, so before checking out actual new features, let's see some development improvements. So first of all, James decided to move OctoFarm to GitHub, so people actually can issue pull requests and open issues and whatnot, which is great if you want to contribute to the development. And then of course there are new releases which are now can be seen on GitHub. Although they are not much documented, mostly bug fixes mentioned, the first major release is 1.1.1. This is the point when he decided to move to GitHub, and a lot of features added, which I will detail later on. Also, as you can see, development is progressing nicely. There are stars, forks, whatnot, which if you're an experienced GitHub user mean that a project is growing and there's a community building up behind it. So this is also good news. As with many of the open source projects, unfortunately documentation is a bit still lacking. So after moving the project to GitHub, the wiki hasn't been updated yet, but you can still find the old wiki mentioned in the previous video. Also, it is, I think, linked around here somewhere, not sure. But anyway, basically, if you have any issues and questions, James still has that Discord support channel, which means you can join the Discord channel and you can ask directly from him and from the other contributors, including myself. Although I'm not really contributing to the source code of OctoFarm, but instead to the Dockerized version. Now I mentioned Docker, it might worth checking out that now Dockerfile is already added. It's a bit different method than what I'm doing with my own project, but this is already working, and yeah, this is also maintained by James. So now you have actually two ways to use OctoFarm in Docker. Also, adding feature requests is now supported by a site called FeedHub, which is, yeah, linked here. So if you have feature request or you want to vote for an existing feature request, you can go there and do that. Okay, time to see the new features of the recent releases. Just to demonstrate all the things OctoFarm can do for us, I will quickly set up 3 instances of Octoprint along with some fake camera streams. If you're interested about these fake camera streams you can use for testing, I will talk about a bit later. Okay, so quickly do the usual setup for Octoprint. No need for authentication or stuff like that, just really the basic stuff. We will use virtual printers, so you don't need to set up a printer either. Assuming we have done these steps 2 more times, now we can set up those virtual printers for the Octoprint instances. For this, documentation of Octoprint will help. We need to add a small section to our config.yaml file, and since I'm using Docker, I will have to do this within the volumes attached to my containers. In case of a standalone Octoprint installation, you need to SSH or connect otherwise to your Octoprint instance, look up the config.yaml file and add this section. After that, only a restart is required. After the restart, to activate your virtual printer, you have to select a virtual serial port on the left side of the screen under the serial port drop-down box. Then you can just do the connection thing as you do usually, and as you will see, the printer or the virtual printer gets connected instantly. Of course, I will have to do this for each Octoprint instances, and then I'm basically ready to start testing OctoFarm. So this is how the new OctoFarm greets you. Yeah, access control is finally here. You have to register a user and then you will have to log in. But don't worry, nothing is cloud related or stuff like that, so it's just a local database. But then again, it's good if you're sitting on a LAN used by multiple people and you don't want, for example, your children to mess with your 3D printer, right? Okay, so as you can see, registration is pretty quick and easy, and then we have the dashboard. So let's take a look. Nope, no empty dashboard for you. Instead, OctoFarm will just offer you to set up your first printer. Neat, so let's do that. Just like with the first release version, you will have to add the details from your Octoprint instance, and yeah, that strange thing about stripping the HTTP from the camera URL, yeah, it's still there. So let's just fast forward here. And boom, we have the dashboard. And you can see it's real nice, I like it. It just gives you an overview about your system and your farm in general. So printers on the left side, a lot of stats and whatnot on the right side and in the middle. And yeah, it gives you an overview about the farm itself, like general utilization and cumulative tool heat and whatnot. So just a few things to mention here. And interestingly enough, if you're running it in Docker, then yeah, it will still probably work, although some numbers are not really the way they should be. I mean, for example, system RAM usage, you would expect RAM used by the given container, but it will just return the whole thing. And for example, CPU usage, OctoFarm, not a number. I think it's looking for something like a script or binary in a process output, and it cannot find it because yeah, it's running inside a container. But this is just a wild guess. For details like that, ask James. I assume that these will be fixed, and if I can contribute to the project from Docker's point of view, I will probably do it. As I can see, this project has a clear goal, and it's way more than becoming another GUI on top of the Octoprint API. Instead, it heavily focuses on mass operations. And as you will see, the file manager has improved a lot, and there are a lot of batch stuff there, like uploading the same file to all of your printers and whatnot. So this is the file manager, and as you can see, printers are listed here, and for each printer you can do the usual stuff like uploading files, creating folders, even resyncing with Octoprint. But here's my personal favorite, the multi-upload functionality, which lets you select multiple printers for the same job. And you can see some description here. I'm not saying that it's but okay. So we have selected two printers, then they would like to select some file. To be honest, this option is still a bit mystery to me, but okay, let's see what it does. Sounds like upload or print immediately after upload. I don't know. Anyway, let's select some files and then let's try this functionality. Let's say we take this option for now. So the file has clearly uploaded to the first printer, and I can even start printing it, which obviously means that the option is not what I thought it will be. But for the third printer, we have a problem. So let's look into it. Let me find out what's going on. Oh, okay, my bad. So it was the coarse filter. Always check this option first if OctoFarm seemingly cannot interact with a given Octoprint instance while others are working. So yeah, I tried another printer, it was working, and then it became obvious that it must be some setting on Octoprint side. And yeah, here we go, now it's all working. So with all three of the virtual printers printing virtually, we can take a look around in the UI. And as you will see, the status is getting updated properly everywhere. And yeah, even though the UI still needs a lot of polishing, it's still pretty functional already. Also, never forget that the whole thing is backed up by Octoprint, which is a pretty mature piece of software. And it means that whenever something goes wrong on this UI, you won't lose control over your prints. You can still go to Octoprint and stuff like that and stop the print or fix something if you can, and so on. And finally, here are some extra info regarding OctoFarm. So the Docker's version is still being maintained by us, I mean myself, and of course there's another version I mentioned at the start, but yeah, they are a bit different. Anyway, the real thing is that what I forgot to mention right from the start, that if you remember from the previous video, up until now OctoFarm didn't really have a backend. I mean, it was running on Node.js, and yeah, it stored settings in local storage in your browser, but it didn't really have a database. And now it has changed, so it has a Mongodb Back-End, and yeah, it's now can be still used on your home network from any device. It's not tied to a browser anymore, which is great. But the problem with it is that you will probably have to set up everything from the start, which might be problematic to some people. And also, you won't be able to run it from a Raspberry Pi, at least not the MongoDB. We are still trying to figure out how to do this, but right now MongoDB is not really supported in the Raspberry Pi, at least not in Docker. So attention, some hacking is required. Or you can just use a database, a MongoDB from another machine if you want to run OctoFarm on a Raspberry Pi. Yeah, okay, I get it. Probably off topic for the video, and not even everybody is interested who is interested in OctoFarm, so just a few sentences. I put together 2 Docker containers which will help you with creating fake camera streams, not just for OctoFarm testing, but admit it, it's useful, but for anything else that you want to test, like Home Assistant. So if you're interested, give me a shout in the comments and I will create a video about this. Also, I will publish them on DockerHub, so you can take a look. So what do you think? In my opinion, OctoFarm has a lot of potential, and it's really a handy tool when it comes to using multiple 3D printers. I mean, yeah, you can run around with SD cards and stuff like that, but it's not the optimal solution, right? So if you're interested in future updates to Octoprint and want to see some tutorials, maybe whatever the future brings, please consider subscribing to the channel, because I will keep uploading videos related to Octoprint, as yeah, I'm trying to contribute to that project because I find it really interesting, and yeah, these videos help James to promote Octoprint. So If you think it's a cool tool, then feel free to tell about it on social media to your friends, to your colleagues, whatever. Anyway, thanks for watching this video, guys. See you next time, next week. Adios. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, hit like. If you want to help my channel and see more of my content, hit subscribe. If you want to check out behind the scenes and want to know more about me, then follow me on social media. You can find the links here. Thank you again and see you next time.